Well, I hope everyone had a good lunch, or I hope everyone's having a good lunch at this moment in time. Because after watching that game last night and watching the enthusiasm, we will say, for Saquon Barkley from the Philadelphia fan base, watching him score not one, but two touchdowns in a span of 20 seconds, running for almost total yards like 198. I love this one. I hate this organization. and you know what? And every time I look at Joe Schoen now, all I can think about repeatedly and over again is looking at it. Yeah, my sources say that he's going to Chicago. Philly keeps running up the price, but there's no way in hell he's going to Philadelphia.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
That's all I can think about anytime I even think about Joe Schoen.
I was involved in areas of pro-life advocacy.
I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I tried to extol his virtues and say, you know what, maybe some of these trades and maybe some of these things that he's going to do is going to make sense. You know, when he let Julian Love walk, and Julian Love basically came back with hat in hand because he overestimated the market. And at that point in time, he got the deal from Seattle. And what does he do? He goes back to Joe Schoen and says, hey, listen, you match this deal, which is like $4 million less than you were going to pay me. Then I will come back. No, we don't want that. We got Yusef Corker. We're good. Go ahead, motherfucker. You're fine. Evan Ingram couldn't catch a cold here in New York. Couldn't do anything. It was strange that a guy that has so much talent, that has so much ability to catch the ball, just couldn't excel in this city. And it wasn't like he was an Ed Whitson. It wasn't like he wasn't a New York guy. He just couldn't excel. So what do? We let him go. He runs over to Jacksonville last year, second most receptions by a tight end in a single season in NFL history. Darren Waller, 2 seasons removed from being the best tight end in football, comes to the Giants, almost gets decapitated that preseason game versus the Carolina Panthers. Now he's retired. Paris Campbell what's up, Kevin? Paris Campbell couldn't find $1 on the free agent market. Couldn't find $1. Giants gave him 4.5. Paris Campbell even came out and said, well, the Giants were the only ones that offered me a contract. The likes of Daniel Jones, free agent, has to call Mara at the last minute to get a deal done. Had to have a gentleman's handshake. 31 other teams in the league were like, yeah, no, we're going to pass on this guy. We wouldn't even give him the money that they gave Mitchell Trubisky in Pittsburgh that year. So we're going to pass on this guy. Joe Schoen, let's give him $160 million. He then goes to his buddy, Dan Morgan, of course. And a lot of people already know all this, but sometimes you just have to pontificate. He goes to Dan Morgan, his buddy over in Carolina, trades for their best defensive player, gives him $120 million, and he basically could have had, you're paying $120 million for an 8-sack guy. Brian Burns isn't a bad player, but I'm not seeing this destructive force that Brian Burns is. I'm not seeing this game changer. I'm not seeing this Lawrence Taylor. Hell, I'm not seeing Aaron Donald. I'm not seeing Aiden Hutchinson. I'm not seeing any of that. Give him the money that we could have used to sign Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney, who leads the league in interceptions. Now one of the best safeties in all of football that we cultivated, we drafted, that we groomed into the player that he is now. But you don't give $120 million to Brian Burns. You don't give the money to Daniel Jones. You have Saquon Barkley. You have Xavier McKinney. Hell, you may even have Julian Love. You have, out of the 22 guys, 3 Pro Bowl starters to go along with Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence. Now, Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence, of course, are not even Shane guys. Neither Xavier McKinney, neither is Saquon Barkley, neither is Julian Love. These are just retread sign-overs from the Gettleman. And I keep thinking to myself, and I hear the crowd in Philadelphia chanting, "Thank you, Giants." And it disgusts me to no end to know that we gave away Saquon Barkley. We gave him away. We didn't even think about it. We gave him away. I mean, hell, can you hear? Wait.
It was amazing. Last year it was, tough year for me mentally. Did a really good job of. They love the Cowboys.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I'm gonna let the crowd take this one. You guys listen at home. They are saying, "Thank you, Giants."
Yeah, that's what you want to hear out of your. That's what you want to hear, from your division rival. Thank you, Giants. And I think it's, what was it, Ralph Vacciano? Is it Ralph Vacciano? Is that one of the Giant beat writers? Well, he had the idiocy to post something on Twitter today, basically saying, so what, the Giants would have 4 more wins if they had 4 wins if they had, instead of 2 without Saquon Barkley? I can literally think of 3 games off the top of my head that Philadelphia doesn't win without Saquon Barkley. He single-handedly won the Packer game and the Saint game. Single-handedly won those 2 games. So what's the Eagles' and like I said, this is why the Giant Sport Writer Collective makes me want to fucking vomit. Well, what would the Giants only have 4 wins now? You are a fucking moron. Go write for the New Jersey Beacon or something, because you shouldn't be writing for wherever the hell you write for, because I don't even know what the fuck you write for, because I have read the newspaper since Dick Young died. But you are a moron. You don't want. I love it. Then he goes, well, a running back like that, a transcendent running back like that's just a luxury. Makes your head spin. And I want to say one thing, because Dan makes me laugh for a second, because Dan says something I wanted to speak about, and it linked down to the content creators too. Unfortunately, content creators are fucking idiots, most of them, majority of them. I like Big Dash, I like Mr. Authentic. He doesn't make me want to vomit, and there's a couple of the people like here and there, but this chat sport thing, they are just morons wrapped in stupidity. Because their big reporting, which they stole from Adam Schefter, was that Daniel Jones may get benched, but he's not going to. They're not going to play him this year because of the fact that he's got that injury clause and he won't waive it. I'm going to get closer to the camera so you could see me, because you are an idiot. The NFL Players Association will not allow a player to waive an injury agreement within their contract, nor would they allow an NFL team to even ask them to waive that, because then they will be sued. If you need me to say it slower, I will. Learn football. It'll make your life easier. That was one of the dumbest things that's been sticking in my crawl for a day. Yeah, they asked him to waive it, so he didn't want to waive it, so they're not going to get rid of him. Like, the Players Association is going to stand by and let a player waive an injury clause in a guaranteed contract. Oh my God. When did I land on planet moron? Oh, I'm a Giant fan. I literally forgot I'm a Giant fan, so that's how I got the planet moron. But just to have the Eagle fans chanting "Thank you, Giants," I mean we had a problem with the soundboard yesterday, but literally, can you hear this? Literally,
Last year it was, tough year for me mentally. Did a really good job of.
They love the Cowboys.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I'm gonna let the crowd take this one. You guys listen at home. They are saying
Thank you, Giants.
Thank you, Giants.
Immediately, Joe Schoen should just be fired. Back up the truck and fire his ass. Don't even think about it. Just fire him. Because you literally told him, John Mara, that I'm not going to be able to sleep at night if he goes to Philadelphia. But don't worry. According, hold on, I got my phone here. According to my sources here, let me see here. Oh, yeah, it's Christy Entertainer. He's going to Chicago. When all the information, because I live near Philadelphia, all the information for days leading up to him signing with Philadelphia. If you listen to the Philadelphia press and the Philadelphia News Radio, he was going to Philly. But our general manager, let me see. Yeah, he's going to the Bears. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. No one's going to want a $45 million running back handed off to a quarterback handed off to a $12 million running back. I think I'm watching that in Philly right now. I think I'm watching that, the 8-2 Philly right now? That's why I'm a Packers fan. I mean, I've said this before. I lived through the 70s. Yeah, I was a kid, so I didn't know any better. But I lived through the Andy Robustella era. I lived through the John McVay junior, senior era as well. I lived through the Miracle in the Meadowlands. I watched Herm Edwards from the stands run that shit back. I lived through 3-12-1 in '83. I lived through the departure of Ray Perkins over to Alabama year after the Giants went to the playoffs. I lived through all this. I lived through the doldrums. I lived through Craig Morton. I literally have lived through all of this. All of this. This is the worst I've seen. And if there's any other old timers out there, and I've talked to a couple of them, they'll tell you this is the worst that I've seen. This is the worst I've ever seen this team. And it's the blatant stupidity of the organization and the segment of the fan base that gets me. And I've said this before. Back in '83, when we went 3-12-1, you had the Sims-Bruner debate. Bruner won the playoff game in '81. Sims was leading the team to the playoffs when he got hurt. Sims was just terrible in '82. '83, Parcells picked Bruner over Sims, and which almost got him fired. And there was a divide in the fan base. But I laughed though, because and I know that you didn't have social media, you didn't have all talk radio and all that, but I laughed though, because even though there was divide, when we got to the Meadowlands, you still rooted for the Giants, no matter who the quarterback was. There is such a divide with number 8 that it's no longer fun to even root for this team. And then you watch players go elsewhere. You look at Matt from Connecticut, go to San Francisco, go elsewhere. You look at Will Hernandez, who had a great season, not a great season, but had a really good season in Arizona last year. You watch these players that were here go other places and succeed, and you wonder why we can't cultivate talent. And it all starts from the top. It all starts from Mara. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of bringing in Belichick. I'm not. I've said this a million times before, but I am going to say this. If you bring in Belichick and you make him president of football operations, you have him appoint the GM. And I would have no problem if Brandon Brown got the job. And then you had those two guys run everything. I would have a little bit better feel of this team. But when you undervalue a running back such as Saquon Barkley to overvalue to quarterback that you have, and your own coaching staff and your own people inside your own building question you and say, well, what then is the identity of this team if we don't have Saquon Barkley? And then you watch him go down 95 and lead the league in rushing and total yards. You want to talk about offensive player of the year? I'm talking MVP. I've watched every one of Barkley's games, and there's a couple moments here and there, but he is propelling this Eagle team to new heights. And to the morons that were on Twitter and was saying, well, you know what, I'm not impressed with the Eagle defense. This kid Mitchell is the real deal. DeJon Mustard is the real deal. You got guys, you got Dean You got a steal in Zach Bond. You got all these guys that what's his name? The big guy. I can't think of his name because I'm not an Eagle fan. But you have this team that's gelling, and their defense is good, and their defense by the playoffs is going to be scary good. But you need to overvalue your own team by undervaluing others, even though you can clearly see they are 10 times better than what we are. And then we got Mr. Uncrustable eating motherfucker, and they're sitting there going, well, you know what? I'm not, when has he gotten anything right? I love it now because they're saying, well, this is the greatest draft class we've had in years. That's what they said about Deontay Banks last year. A single season changes on a dime when the next season starts. Because I'll give you a little kiddies, I'll give you a little example here. When the 2024 season's over, those stats don't count into 2025. You have to continue to cultivate, and you have to continue to make yourself better, make yourself a player to continue your success in the NFL. That's why they have a sophomore slump. That's what Deontay Banks is learning real quick. And when your brilliance is, I am going to draft a wide receiver at 6 to fix my quarterback. You're going to go against all conventional NFL wisdom, 100+ years of the NFL. You're going to go against all of that. And you are going to get a guy to fix your quarterback at 6. To fix the quarterback you drafted at 6 in 2019. And you are shocked that it's not working out. That he's only averaging 10 yards a catch and he's got a yak of 4. And you're only throwing him the ball 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. I tell you, Jason Garrett is chuckling away. What do we got here, Danny Dinks? Barkley will win Offensive Player of the Year and will be in discussion for him. Whoever decided on tagging him and re-signing DJ needs to be fired. James Williams says if you're working at McDonald's and you keep burning the fries, they won't keep you on the fries. Hey, well, I don't want to be on the fries either then. Oh my God. Hit the like button, says, Rob, what's up, guys? I hate this organization. Me too. What's up, Cream? How you doing, my brother? Jersey Banner says, sup, Tim. John Marin is sleeping peacefully, buddy. Yeah, he's sleeping peacefully watching his divisional rival go 8-2. And it's Saquon Barkley rushing his way to Offensive Player of the Year. And like I said, there are 3 wins that the Philadelphia, there are 3 games that Philadelphia does not win without Saquon Barkley. And some people, you could even say, you could say they were winning at that point, but some people tell you 4 games, I'm counting last night as well. Well, let's see. I watched the Eagles. I literally watched the Eagles beat the Commanders, and then I had to watch this.
It feels amazing. Last year it was tough year for me mentally. Did a really good job of.
They love the Cowboys.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I'm gonna let the crowd take this one. You guys listen at home. They are saying.
Thank you, Giants.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to hear, my brother. Danny Dinks and Nine says being a Giant fan is a constant depression. Yeah, hopefully the Knicks win tonight too, because I can't take that. Friggin' Giants, man. I hate it here. I'm not worried about the Knicks, though. I'm not worried about the Knicks. The Knicks were at the same point, almost the same identical record they were last year at this point in time. So I'm not worried about themselves. Danny's eyes, why do we do this to ourselves? Because we're stupid. Maintenance Capital says playing for the Eagles is not the same as playing for the Giants, 2 different teams. Oh, I agree. I 100% agree that. And knowing your ass from your elbow is something else as well. So Maintenance Capital, you need to learn that as well. Fire GM coach, let Bill Chuck run the front office. Thank you, Tim. I'm down with that. What's up, Miguel? Kevin says Shane needs to go. Mikey says clean house now. Danny Dinks and Dime says Belichick is not the answer. That would be a very Mara move to mistake. No, here's the thing. I don't even think that would be a Mara move. I don't even think that would be a Mara move. Not even at all. A Mara move would be pulling some guy's name out of a Mara move would be hiring Joe Judge. A Mara move would be letting Ron Rivera or Michael McCarthy go someplace else. Not hiring Brian Flores. That would be a John Mara move. Marcus says, I've been better off keeping Dave as our GM. I know the fact that we still have Barkley and a few other top safeties. I think he would have gone and took a quarterback in last year's draft. I'm not going to say I would keep Dable. I wouldn't say I'm not. I wouldn't say I would keep Gettleman. I can't think I say that. By the way, Kevin says, "What's up, Tim?" Drew Aller, thoughts? I don't have any thoughts right now on Drew. My thoughts right now are, we are just in such a bad place, and most people will tell you can't go with a Nittany Lion quarterback. Most people will tell you that, and I also remember Todd Blackledge. So. Evan couldn't catch with DJ. He was decent and shown flashes with Eli. He did, but then he goes to Jacksonville, and last year, second most receptions in a single season by a tight end in NFL history. He can't catch a cold here, but that's all he's doing in Jacksonville. JoJo's quote saying 2020, I won't sleep on 2026. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to make history. I was going to make history, yeah. Marvin says, GM, that'll be me. Dan says, we have to hope that Saquon keeps getting off every week because that maybe, just maybe will finally send John Mara over the edge. I hope that Saquon Barkley wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. He already did that. I hope he wins Offensive Player of the Year. I hope he wins League MVP. I'm happy for Saquon, too. I got my Saquon Barkley jersey. I'm rocking the bark. I got no problem rocking the bark. Do you partake in sports trading? I don't know what sports trading is. I have been a Giant fan since Phil Simms. Joe Schoen is the worst GM in Giant history. I've been a Giant fan since before Phil Simms, and you're right. So you're only a couple years after me because Phil Simms was 79. It was humiliating. Joe Schoen is making Gettleman look. He is literally, you know what? That's sad to say, but he literally is making Gettleman look like a freaking genius. Because all he does is sign Gettleman guys. And then, like I said, everyone's so enamored with Tyler Newman and Tracy and all this. Yeah, but we were all enamored with Deontay Banks last year. Your NFL career can change on a dime. And now you still have people blaming Tyrone Tracy for the fumble. The guy's only played a year and a half at the position. It's not like he only converted to running back because they thought he would be better drafted as a running back. Vaccio. Hey, I'm a fucking moron. There you go. I'll do my Tommy DeVito. And to those that were insulted that were Italian by my Italian accent, I really don't care. And it leaked down to content creators too, unfortunately. Oh, the whole, yeah. I mean, just please stop. And the only thing I believe that Joe Schoen said that was smart, saying that we're going to do this on a football decision. Because even you're still going to have a $23 million dead cap number with Daniel Jones next year. Like, you can divide it up, but you're still going to have that. You're still going to have that dead cap number. That's not going anywhere. Yeah, the money will become guaranteed, but the dead cap number's not going anywhere. You know that, right? And you really think the Players Association would allow a player to waive an injury agreement, a guaranteed injury agreement? This is what Chat Sports thought. This is why they're based out of Texas. Because according to me, they grow them bigger and stupider in that part of the woods sometimes. If Shane, and of course I love people in Texas. I got a lot of friends in Texas. I don't want to move to Texas. People said I'd be perfect in Texas. Shane will let Jones walk. He could have kept Saquon, McKinney, Love, and Ingram and had them on their rookie class. But Giants chose a guy who had multiple games and didn't throw for 100. Oh, what's up, RFFD? Can you imagine how good the offense would have been with Barkley, Neighbors, Slayton, Hyatt, Johnson, and Tyrod Taylor? Well, maybe not with Hyatt and Johnson gets one catch and people go a little crazy. I remember Dane Bellinger. There 2 years ago, Dane Bellinger was going to be the next coming to Mark Bavard. Now he's Caden Smith. Damian says, watching Saquon win in Philly games is some feeling I had when Odell had to hold up a Lombardi trophy in the Rams uniform. It's disgust. Yeah, we didn't trade Barkley. Well, Philosophy Center says it's funny that Shane devalues running back, but this is the year the best running backs are. This is the year running backs are having career years. He devalues positions because he overvalues others. The one position you should always never undervalue is the fact that it's the quarterback position. We said this before. Joe Shane's a tire kicker. He's a guy that goes into the dealer every Saturday just to walk around a car and kick the tires and then go, this one doesn't have Corinthian leather, so I'm going to pass, guys. That's what he does with quarterbacks. And you're going to give him now year 4 to draft you a quarterback? No fucking thank you. What does Frank say? Tim, does Gettleman deserve more credit for some of the players he drafted? Thank you, Giants. Sincerely, Eagles fans. Unbelievable. I do. I've always said Gettleman was better at drafting than he ever was at signing free agents, even going back to his time in Carolina. The season they went 15-1 with Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward now in my mind too. With Cam Newton was they had a good draft class, and every one of his free agents who were older guys came in and contributed. It was his best free agent class ever, but it wasn't even a good free agent class. Eagle fans are eternally grateful to Joe Schoen and the Giants for Saquon Barkley. Michael says they could have had Barkley for a third for 3 to 4 years compared to Deion Jones' 1 year salary. It's just idiocy wrapped in a reel. A $55 million quarterback is handing off to Saquon. No, actually, this is the genius of Howie. And I don't like talking about Howie, but this is the genius of Howie and his ability to manipulate the salary cap. I always tell people, how much do you think? What do you think the cap number is this year? Because you're saying the $55 million quarterback. What do you think the cap number is this year for Jalen Hurts? $13.5 million. You know what it is next year? 21. You know what it is in 2026? 31. Do you know what it is in 2027? 41. With only a $20 million dead cap number, the guy will be 29 years old. He gave him all that money up front in the signing bonus because he knew it didn't matter how he wrecked his dead cap space because he was never getting rid of the guy. The contract was a stroke of genius. So really, you have a $13 million quarterback handing off to a $12 million running back. That's what you have right now. But our GM sits there and says, according to my sources, he's going to the Bears. Yeah, he's going to the Bears. Don't worry about it, guys. Joe Schoen disgusts me. He just keeps getting rid of Dave Gettleman guys because he wants to bring in his guys, and he's completely wrong on all of them. Undervalues Saquon and has to know Saquon was going to Philly. Everyone, like I said, I live 45 minutes outside of Philadelphia. All I get is Philly sports talk, Phillies radio, Philly TV, everything. That and Steelers. All the sports talk channels could talk about on the radio was that Saquon Barkley was coming to Philadelphia. But Joe Schoen said, he's going to the Bears. Don't worry, guys. The 49ers turned around and they gave their running back a raise. And yeah, they did. Big time. James says the Giants need to move on from Shane and Dable and Jones. 3 years is fucking enough for this shit show. Mara needs to hire people who know what they are doing, people who can do their job. Agreed. Yep, they are legit. Washington was stupid when they stopped running the ball last night. They really were. I don't know why. I don't know what Washington's thought process was. Washington, I still think, can make the playoffs, but I don't understand their thought process. You're running the ball. And then all of a sudden, you're just like, yeah, now we're done. I'm good. Burns is putting up Azeez Ojulari numbers. You're right. But we gave him $120 million to be the defensive stopper. That ain't working yet. Saquon beat Washington by himself, and he lost to Washington twice. And Tracy ran for 66 yards for Washington. Tracy and Singletary combined are not better than 26. KTS gets it. Why doesn't Joe Schoen get it? Kevin says, I hate this team. There is no tape on Tracy Jr., so we can't say how good. Thank you. For the love of God, thank you, KTS. Somebody with a thought process. I've said this a million times before. After 7 or 8 weeks, then you're going to kind of know what your rookie can do. Because there's no tape. And the more film teams get on Tyrone Tracy, they're going to learn his tendencies. They're going to learn how he carries the ball. Looking at a strip fumble there. They're going to know which way he likes to run. They are going to know all of this. James Williams says, hit the like button, please. Yeah, hit the like button. We only have 30 likes. That's not bad. Let's get more than that. Facts. Brian Burns and Azeez Ojulari both have 6 sacks. Yeah, we're paying one of them a lot less. Dark Simi says, that's embarrassing to have your rivals chanting that on national television. They're chanting this. Mara and Shane must go, but keep Dable. No, you can't, because I said this when they hired Joe Schoen. I said this right away. Your general manager always wants to win or lose with their guys. That's why Shane brought in Dable. It's the same thing with a quarterback. If you don't have a star franchise quarterback and you go into an organization, first thing you're going to do is pick your own quarterback. So he's shown me, Shane, that he does not have the ability to evaluate talent at a certain level. And I think that trickles down to the coaching staff. Completely disagree. Give Shane another year or two. Aaron, were you the same person who thought we should give Daniel Jones another 6? Let's see here. Like I said, Saquon is a generational talent. He is a gold jacket. I don't know, but he is generational right now. Clown says, I don't see more than one more win. I really think Shane will be gone. We'll continue to root for Saquon to dominate. Will make the optics worse. You know, it's worse. I was thinking about this yesterday. I didn't buy a Giant jersey this year. My wife already said she's not going to. I bought an Xavier McKinney jersey and a Saquon Barkley jersey. And I love the salute to service heading. I love anything salute to service. So that's one reason why I'm going to the Tampa Bay game, because they're going to give away the scarf again this year. But she asked me, she goes, do you want a salute to service hoodie? And I said, yes, a Green Bay Packer one, please. Shane has thrown Saquon to Philly. He has to go alone, misread the market, undervalued Saquon, and overvalued Jones with all these rookies and no NFL tape. Thank you. Joe Rev says it would be even better if they do that at the next Eagles-Giants game. Thank you, Joe. They might. They possibly could. I'm thinking James says, as a Mara move is to tell you the GM he won't want to see Saquon in Philadelphia than watching your GM lose Saquon to Philly. That is always going to be ingrained in my mind. Him at the desk or the credenza holding his head, Mara, like, I can't, just fucking can't. He can't. Fire Shane, start over with Brandon Brown. I actually might not be down with that. A Giant season ticket holder wearing an Eagles jersey, lol, it's bad. Giant season ticket holder and Giant fans in 76, yeah. And I'm rocking my 26, man. I've been wearing this shit all day. And this weekend, I'm going to be wearing Xavier McKinney. Joe Rev, happy belated Veterans Day, brother. Thank you for your service. I agree 100%. Let's see. Kevin says it was Mara, and I'm not. And after hearing the chant, I would have picked up the phone and yelled at Shane, "You're fucking fired." I added the fucking for Kevin. Get the F out. Take your wife's bedazzled hat with you. Because anyone that's married and has kids, Al Bundy, married with children, anyone's married and has kids knows you've played Uno before. And I would like people to go into the chat and tell me, how many times did your wife come out with her entire bedazzled outfit and hat to sit at the kitchen table and play Uno? They wanted their own reality show, and they got it. It's called The Giant Suck by Joe Schoen of the OC. Marvin says, Tim, do you think Joe Schoen is telling Dable to play, to run? Shane is so controlling and insecure. No, I don't think he is. I think Banks can and will recover. What do you think of the Milroe? Milroe intrigues me, but I think he's more of a runner right now. I think Banks will recover too, but the problem is this. You drafted Banks to fit Wink's system. Wink nearly squeezed the snot out of Joe Schoen after they drafted him. You're asking him to play in an entirely different system in reference to the secondary with I can't even think of his fucking name, Shane Bowen. So yeah, he's going to regress a little, but he'll be fine. Todd says maybe they should try doing things like a hockey team would. The idiots can't figure out football clearly. Jersey Beaner says, hey, what's about it? What about Brian Burns? What about Burns and Motor? I remember we got Burns and Motor, man. Oh yeah. Remember the beginning of the season, man? We got Burns and Motor. You know, we had content creators and people on YouTube like, yeah, we got the Burns, we got the Motor. And then you had people like me and James Williams saying, I don't get it. James Williams had the best response to the trading for and signing of Brian Burns. He goes to me, I follow football all the time. I don't know who the hell Brian Burns is. I hope barely breaks the NFL rushing record, wins the MVP with the defense focus on DG stopping the big play. Running backs are facing. He stacked the box. It's why Saquon Barkley and Henry are tearing it up. Oh, I agree. Todd says, meanwhile, we're stuck with a guy I'm not to give $1 million a year. Todd also says, problem is Mara has no idea what he's doing. Yep. Asmi says, the Giants are the best. What are people complaining about? Oof. Derek Simi says, Shane brings up Tracy like he got money for, like he didn't give money to Singletary. He pushed Singletary as Barkley's replacement. Yeah, that's the other thing. That's a great point, Derek Simi. You're right. He literally boasted about getting Devin Singletary. I got Devin Singletary, man. And now he's boasting about Tyron Tracy. Singletary? Who's that? Mike Singletary? The Bears' former linebacker? Oh, yeah, I know who he is. John says, you may have been right. Washington might be frauds. Yeah, I said it the other day. To me, Washington, they are the 2022 Giants. That's what I think Washington is. They are the 2022 Giants. I think they have an interesting collection of talent, and I could be wrong, but it's just the way they play. It just reminds me of the 2022 Giants. James says Shane and Dable are trash. Mara needs to fire both of them. Move Brown to GM. Make Kafka the head coach the rest of the season. It goes on from here. Mara needs to find a good GM, a good head coach who can win. I would not allow Mike Kafka to be in charge of the coffee machine, let alone a head coach. Which quarterback is the best prospect in the draft? I think physically talented, you got to go with Sanders. If you want to remove the intrigue that's going to come with Sanders and his father, you got to go Cam Ward. But you know what's going to happen. We're going to get like the 8th pick and take Carson back. You know that because we've said it before. Sanders and Ward, the carpet doesn't match to drape in Giant Stadium if we bring those guys in. Love Saquon, but would never wear that Eagles trash. Let me tell you something. Drop takers Goff. Don't fucking care. It's a jersey. It's a shirt. It means shit. Grow up. Your life will be a lot better. Mr. Alvarez says, I hope they thank you, Chants. Get Shane fired. He deserves to be gone with the cruddy draft picks and free agent decision were made. RF says, Rich Eisner said you watch the game, you see wide receivers open and he doesn't look their way. The flea flicker would have worked if Daniel just looked down the field and pulled the trigger. He's right. He's right. He's got this mental capacity in his brain that just locks. And he no longer has the ability to look more than 6 yards down the field. Jennifer says, it's time to throw Joe in the Hudson River. No, he might be able to swim. Matthew says, good morning, Tim and OBP family. I'm sorry. I hope that Mara will fire Dable, Shane, and get a true offensive guru in here. Dable had success with only one season in Buffalo apart from 2022. I keep saying this over and over again about Brian Dable. Don't tell me college. And I've said it before because we don't play Vanderbilt. So I don't care what he's done in college. Look at what he has done outside the pros without Josh Allen. I'm not really seeing the offensive genius. And Josh Allen has not lost a beat. And I love it because when he the first year, people are like, well, look, Josh Allen had such a terrible season without Brian Dable. Yeah, he threw for more yards and I think one less touchdown. I still want Brandon Brown as a GM. Let him pick a coach and new OC. The Giants would never do that. I mean, I'm not bad with that idea, but the Giants would never do. Jersey Boy said, can you imagine how Shane's son feels right now? Yes, he wants to become an emancipated minor. It was just in the news. Shane says, I was high on Jalen Milroy before college football started, but he has to work on to do more with his passing. He does. I don't need another running quarterback. What's up? What's up, Joseph Quiones? Hey, Tim, button 26 on how Barkley sucks.
$1 million.
That was button 26. Matthew says, what's up, James, my dude? I sent you a rant on Twitter. Oh, Lordy. Dan Quinn ate an Uncrustable at halftime and went back to the Falcons head coaching Dan Quinn. I think he did. Mr. Roberts says it's worse with the Banks pick because they traded up one spot and the team didn't even. We are at the draft party. We are in the middle of MetLife on the field, and the Giants traded up one spot. And people are like, look how shrewd Joe Schoen was, man. He jumped over the team, got the player that he wanted, man, and they don't even take a corner. John says, do you think the Eagles can win the Super Bowl? I don't want to say it because I'm a Packer fan, but yeah, I do think they can win a Super Bowl. This defense, and I keep trying to explain this to people, not in Philadelphia, I keep trying to explain this to Giant fans. This defense is good. And this Philly defense is not only good, they are getting better. That kid Mitchell, I didn't think he was, I thought he'd be a good player, but I never thought he would be this good this quick. Terry McLaurin, did he even play? Because they are this Philadelphia defense. And that's why I laughed. It was license plate guy. I'll say who it was, who said that, gee, I'm not really impressed by the Eagles defense. Then you don't know football because this team is good. You go back to the Bears game. They gave up 6-3-17. They gave up 23 to win in Jacksonville. And of course, yeah. And then they gave up 6 and then 18. This team, this defense, the way they are built and the way they play, Zach Bond is a steal. He's already got 102 tackles. And Zach Bond couldn't even sniff the field with the Saints. Nakobe Dean, he looks like he's a player. CJ Gardner looks like a player. Jordan Davis was the other guy I was thinking of. Once Jordan Davis figures it out, Blankenship at safety is good. Mitchell is a stud. You got Jalen Carter. You still have big play Slay. People forget about that. You also have Bryce Huff, who only got 2.5 sacks, but if he ever figures it out and turns it on, you never know what's going to happen. Brandon Graham is still playing on this team. This is a team that is putting it all together and is going to put it all together at the right time. People need to start watching football by just watching football, not watching the jerseys. What's up with the Saquon Barkley jersey? It's called Saquon Barkley jersey. Not really sure. Commies are having the season of all bad teams. They have had the year being bad. Eventually, all teams take advantage of the weak schedule and have a decent year. Doesn't mean the team is good or fixed. Oh, 2022 Giants. Maybe it was the Giants and not Barkley the last few years. Oh my God, Luke, you're right. Could it possibly have been Daniel Jones and other people on the team and not? You gave all these excuses to Daniel Jones. Well, he can't play beyond that offensive line. It's terrible. Well, I think that also goes with the running back. And I think when you have a bad quarterback, that all of a sudden Saquon Barkley learned how to catch the ball again in Philadelphia. It's amazing. He couldn't catch a cold here. But all of a sudden, Saquon Barkley can catch the ball again. He's targeted 29 times. It has 23 receptions for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns and 10 first downs receiving through the first 10 games. All of a sudden, he learned how to catch it again. That's weird. Matthew, what he says, you know what we don't know. DJ could already be benched. Hope he is. Tim Sanders award would love. I would love either one. I just don't want Carson Beck. This would have given Locke time for the first teamer. I do think they're probably going to start Drew Lock, but it has nothing to do with the injury clause. And for people that are sitting there going, well, he wouldn't waive it. That's why they're not playing. Yes, because the Players Association is going to say, yeah, Daniel Jones, know what you need to do because it'll be good for all the other players in the league. You have this guaranteed injury clause in your contract. You should waive it. What's up, Mr. Fitness? Saquon is a beast. I'd rather have the 80s throwback than this one. I like the 80s throwback too. Initially, I wasn't mad about Saquon going to the Eagles, but honestly, he's literally been the reason they won 2 to 3 games. Now I'm officially, there are 3 games he has won for them. 3 games. And some people can say 4 games. Some people say that one loss was his fault, but that was just bad play calling by the head coach. How do you not just run the ball and have them burn their timeouts? Why would you give Shane more time to dig this hole even deeper? You're right. Real Talk says, I literally would fire Shane right there as soon as I heard them chanting, thank you, Giants. I literally, if it was John Mara, I would have drove in today. I would have gone to Joe Shane's office. Joe, you're fired, and then drove back home. Mr. Fitness says, quarterback coach and GM have moved the needle absolutely nowhere. James says, Buffalo and White Vic are doing just fine without Shane and Dable. Danny says, I'm coining the phrase, clueless Joe. Can we call Joe that from now on? Say it ain't so, clueless Joe. Say it ain't so. I need a sarcasm like, no, it's 24.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
Mr. Kuhn is, it's 24. Hey, Joseph Strong, doing work, doing wrong. Mr. Taz says, I think the Giants should keep the Joe Shane and give us 10 years fully guaranteed extension. As an Eagle fan, I love him. I love Howie, man. Mr. Taz, I love Howie. I love your GM. I have been extolling the virtues of your GM for years, and I wish he would teach a master class on how to be a GM and manipulate the salary cap. Because even when you guys have one bad season, he just retools. And then this draft this year, oh my giant! I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me sick. Which tells me what should happen at all the end of the season. If the Birds fans love a rival GM, you need to kick him to the curb. We literally have Mr. Taz, an Eagle fan, in the chat telling us that we need to fire Joe Shane. He has empathy for the Giants. He's got empathy for the guy that we need to fire. I swear, like I said, this will always be.
It feels amazing. Last year it was, tough year for me mentally. Did a really good job of.
They love the Cowboys.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I'm gonna let the crowd take this one. You guys listen at home. They are saying,
Thank you, Giants.
Thank you, Giants.
That's one of those times you don't need a closed caption. You know exactly what they're saying. Orlando says, can someone check on John Mara? He hasn't slept since week 1. And I don't think he has. Good for the Eagles. I agree. Good for the Eagles. Richie says they are going to make it hard not to root for the season-ending Barkley injury. Oh, no. You know what? No, you never say that. No, Richie, take that back. Richie, you need to take that back right now. You got to take that back right now because you don't put that in the air. The reason Saquon Barkley is doing is likely also because he isn't asked to be the only player on offense. He has A.J. Brown, Goddard, and Jalen. Don't forget Dante Smith. And New York had Danny Pennies and nobody else. I mean, I got into arguments with Bad Dog. Not arguments, but, kind of conversation that I love Jalen Hurts and he didn't. And he's an Oklahoma guy. He likes Oklahoma. And I kept saying, Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. He's going to be so much better than Daniel Jones. And I kept having here, no, he's not. No, he's not. Okay. Relax, Eagle fans. We still will choke in the playoffs. But here, Dark Simi, here's the problem. This is and I'm not saying you, Dark Simi. This is the loser mentality Giant fans have. They're going to talk about how other teams are going to choke in the playoffs. The goal, and I know we don't know this because it's been so bad the last 10, 11 years, is to make the playoffs. Only one team at the end of the year wins the Super Bowl. Only 2 teams make the Super Bowl out of 32. So getting to the playoffs is the key. Choking in the playoffs, they said the same thing about Peyton Manning for years. Can't win in the playoffs. And the Eagles have won more Super Bowls and gone to more Super Bowls in the last 10 years than the Giants have. So, walla, walla, walla. Hey, Tim. Hey, Friday. This is typical for the Giants. They finally are going to replace Jones and have a top 2 pick, and it's the weakest quarterback class in years. I said that a lot. It's funny. I talked about that last draft. I wish the Giants have never drafted Saquon so that I could have appreciated his career. Imagine what would have happened if he went to a real team. The Real Talk Show says, do the Giants even care about the fan? I don't know. That is a great, honest question. Does ownership and this team even care about the fan base? There are certain owners that are truly football fans, just fans of the sport, fans of their own team because they make fan moves and they do fan things. And you can see they live and die and bleed with their fans. And I've been in and around this stadium for years, going back to the Meadowlands. I've been in and around it. I've been on the field all the time. I've met the players. I've been there. And I will tell you that there is a segment of players over the years that I've met. Yeah, they care about the fan base. There's certain players that don't. The fans annoy players. Let's just be honest. But there's a segment that really care about, and there you know these guys that they really care what the fans think. They really understand at the end of the day, this is, if you don't have the fans, you are not going to have the contract. The biggest thing that screwed this up is getting billions of dollars in TV revenue and having revenue sharing, because I think that takes away certain teams and owners' philosophies of putting a good product on the table because of the fact that they know they're getting the revenue sharing. Back in the 70s and the 80s, when you weren't getting this, yeah, you listened to the fan base. George Steinbrenner in baseball, no different sport, was so reactive with the fans to his own detriment. But I question at times the thought process and philosophy of this ownership about the fan base. You go back to the medium Pepsi for season ticket holders. And it wasn't a medium Pepsi for each one of your seats. You get an account number. It was a medium Pepsi for that account number. So if you had 5-6 seats, you all had to share the medium Pepsi. The giveaway box this year was spectacular. They did a great job on it. I give them 100% credit with that for the 100-year anniversary. The years prior, you got plastic cups and a banner, a pennant that they gave away 2 years ago. And you'll say, Tim, how do you know they gave it away 2 years ago? Because I got a box of shit on the floor over there. Not literally a box of shit, because that would really stink up the house. But I got a box of giant stuff on the floor that I've gotten as giveaways, that I've gotten at events, that I just throw in the box. And the day the pennant came, I went into the magic box, and I'm like, look, here's the same pennant. That's a great question. People calling Saquon injury prone, but ignoring Jones had one full season in 5 years is laughable to me. An injury prone quarterback is worse than having an injury prone running back. But what do I know? Good point. Tyson versus Paul tonight. Oof. Listen, at 50 something years old, if Tyson wants to take off the head of Jake Paul, it's going to happen. Unless it's truly staged. Let's see here. Billionaires trend not to care. The fans, even they keep the Giants in business, is irrelevant. Big El Gigantes, I can't take another 7 games of this crap. Get rid of them. Thank you, Giants. Danny says, so Shane played hardball with Saquon Barkley for an extra $2 million a year, but gave Locke 5. The Drew Lock thing again is on tape. Drew Lock's only a $4 million quarterback. Yeah, we're not going to give Drew Lock any more than $4 million. Well, let's give him 5. Same with Runyon. No, Runyon. Well, there's rumor that Runyon wants to go to Jets. Give him more money. Don't sell. Don't do a Josh Jacobs. Don't sell him on culture. Don't sell him on winning. Don't sell him on the quarterback. Just go sell him on making the playoffs. Don't sell about no. Just give him an extra couple $1 million because everything will be fine. Dan Jones is our savior. There's more time to evaluate. Button now 24.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
Bad Dog has flipped and flopped on Jones about 50 times, probably in the same sentence. Mr. Fitness says we should be talking about the Giants not making the playoffs. We are. We're not making the playoffs. Let's see. Orlando says, hey, ho. Clueless Joe has got, hey, ho. Clueless Joe has got to go. Oh, wait. Clueless Joe has got to go. Keep forgetting I got a soundboard. Todd says they don't have a care. The New York area is such a pool of people to draw from. They don't. Let's see here. They gave us Daniel Jones for 6 years. They definitely don't care. Michael says Giants do not care about the fan base. I agree. I am enjoying being a Lions fan this season. I can't handle the Giants. Let's see here. James, are you around? Are you not working today? Because if you're not, I want to invite the venerable James Williams into the chat here. I'm going to put this in the link. I'll put the needle on the record. Here we go. I'm going to put the link in the chat, James. Even if you are at work, call in from work. Call in from work. Let us know your feelings. Let us know how this fan base excites you, because I found this tape. You know what I want to play is I found this tape the other day of Giant fans thanking John Mara. I found this tape. I forgot. I'll play this tape for you. Hold on, let me pull it up. This is an actual tape of Giant fans thanking John Mara for everything well that he has done this year.
Oh, that feels amazing. It feels amazing. Last year it was, tough year for me mentally. Did a really good job of.
They love the Cowboys.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I'm gonna let the crowd take this one. You guys listen at home. They are saying
Thank you, Giants.
Thank you, Giants.
Hey,
Oh wait, that wasn't Giant Stadium. Ah, shit! I automatically just assumed that was Giant Stadium. I can't move my window. I screwed that up. Let's see here. Because Joe Judge and Joe Shane, I am Joseph. I like that. It says the team this bad should be allowed to finish the season using Manning simulation results. No, we might win. we might win some games if we use Madden. Listen, I'm never going to lie to you. And I always tell you that. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm always going to speak the truth, or speak, I should rephrase that. I'm always going to speak my truth. And my truth is using what I've seen over the years and watching football and watching this team and just going through these doldrums, that this is the worst I've seen since I started watching. This is the worst. We are now in the depths of despair. And there needs to be, we've said it on this show a million times. Be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. And that's what the Giants need to do. They need to be bold. And they need to figure out how to turn this ship around and do it quickly. I said it the day Daniel Jones signed that contract. I said, this is a bad contract. This is a bad deal. And people kept telling me, no, it's a genius. It's a genius stroke. No. And I kept telling people, he flames it out. He doesn't play well. He gets injured. You're not good again until 2026, 2027. And we're already in 2024. Because I said it. You're not drafting a quarterback in 2023. If he has a bad 2024, you're not going to take one to 2025. So if that quarterback in 2025 gels and you start building around him, he may be better in 2026, but you're probably not going to reach the pinnacle or start being good again until 2027. People kept telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. I always love it when people say to me, well, Tim, you're just never wrong. No, I'm wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times. Plenty of times I've been wrong. But every time I tell you I'm right, I always tell you the same thing. And I wish Zach Attack was here, but of course Zach's at school. I always tell you, go watch what I said. Go listen to the podcast, because that'll tell you everything I said. And I kept saying this the day that ink dried. This is a bad deal. And if he flames out, the Giants will not be good till 2027. You have gone 7-2, 2-5-1, 6-11, 2-8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? James. Go, James.
I love you. Don't ever do that again. What up? What up, brother? What up, chat? Happy Friday.
Is it Happy Friday?
It's a happy Friday for the people in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm having a good Friday. My third team that I follow, the Eagles, took another one.
That I'm 42 years old, and I'm just gonna say, as a lesson to all the young folk out there, and even older, don't ever say this is the worst it could ever be, because tomorrow will come, and that will be the worst it's ever been. Because this season, to start the year off the way it did, on the Ring of Honor, whatever day, and our legends were there, we were there. That was bad. And ever since, it's just, it's kind. We had the. It's just. Oh yes, That was the best part.
Legends.
You're right. We are the legends.
The legends were there. This was us at a happier point in time in our lives, James. This was us.
Yes.
We had hope. We had anticipation. And what happened? We went home with a fucking headache.
I mean, look at that. I'm actually wearing a Giants jersey. We're there. You know, yeah. It's like, yeah, man.
Look at me, man. Look at us. We're rocking it out here.
Hope is a dangerous game.
You and T-Brad and T-Brad, you and I and T-Brad were texting yesterday, and T-Brad said that he was happy about this weekend because this will be one of the few weekends that the Giants won't lose. And my response was, don't count the Giants out. They could still figure out a way to lose.
No, we could do, yeah.
It was amazing. It was
oh my God.
There we go. There's the Giants losing in a bye week.
Do y'all realize how bad that is? I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have never
for the Giants anyway.
In all the years of watching football, I've never seen it.
I've never seen one of our rivals. I've never seen that. One of our rivals chanting "Thank you, Giants" on live TV after beating another one of our rivals. It was like a family thing. We were just, I beat cousin up. Now I'm going to thank the other cousin for that gift they gave us. It was
you had Mark Bavaro go to the Eagles. Didn't get that. You had Carl Banks go to Washington. Didn't get that.
No.
You had
Nobody
Joe
cared,
Morris go to Cleveland. Didn't get that. You had legends leave this team and go other places, and Joe didn't ever get anything like that.
No. I mean, and then when you add and then the performance that he's given all year. Like I want to bet off. I also lost one to my brother, but I want to bet off the fact that I said Saquon Barkley is going to basically play every game this year. He's going to be healthy and he's going to be up for MVP. And my man was like, "No, he's going to be hurt week 3 and he's not going to do that good. Watch, that's what he does." And I'm like, the Giants fan is so weird. We're weird, man. I'm realizing we're weird, man. Like, what is this thing this narrative that some people had out there? Like, oh, Saquon, well, he's not that good and he's not dependable. And it's like, yes, he's had some injury history. He plays in the NFL. It's kind of a gladiator sport. And yes, he has missed some time. So has a quarterback that we paid. But when the guy is on the field, he is a one-of-a-kind talent. And he's a difference maker, and he's proven that. I don't, like I told you, I'm just going to keep it simple going forward. And I don't know what people were looking at. Very simply, like it's a fact. You can look it up. Guy's good.
All next week, I want to put this out there, and people that can't see on that other social media platform. All next week, we're going to be giving away the DJ He-Man DJ Hater Club T-shirts. We're going to be giving those away all week long, starting Monday. So if you're on the channel or you're in the chat or something, you're going to win the He-Man. And also we're going to be giving away, so you can put them on your bumper stickers of your car. We're also going to be giving away the He-Man DJ Haters Club as well, the stickers as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That's going to be all next week. Because James, when is this going to end?
You need to put the DJ apology chart on a shirt and do that. I need to order me my haters one, but the DJ apology chart, you need to put that on a shirt. Yeah. You need to put that on a shirt or a hoodie. I would cop that. I'm pretty sure a few of us out here would cop that. That's hilarious. That is seriously hilarious. And we all need to wear that at the game. Can you imagine that? Like a few thousand of us in there or even a few hundred of us in there with that. That's a statement. That's how you get billionaires to pay attention, real talk. They only care about stuff that affects the bottom line.
EC1, who looks like an Eagle fan, says, "I love your channel. You keep it real." Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, he does. He does, EC1. That's why he gets a lot of hate.
Yeah. Listen, you want to hate me? There's a fucking line. So, you know.
There is, but
I'm going to leave it at that. There's a line, and it's very long, so just make sure you get in the line early. Would you let Joe Schoen draft a quarterback?
No. I got to be honest, no, because, as you know, White Vic, Josh Allen, for y'all that don't know, that's my favorite player. And I did research, and Brandon Beane drafted Josh Allen. He's the one that was talking to him and going to see him. And Joe Schoen's fingerprints are nowhere near the Josh Allen pick.
They locked him in the bathroom.
I don't know what his credentials really are other than being under Brandon Beane, who Buffalo, again, like I said in the comments, they're doing a pretty good job over there without the two guys we took from them. Like, they're doing pretty dang good.
Well, we also took Motor and Isaiah McKenzie. Oh, and Boogie Basham.
Well, just think of the simple fact that everybody before the season was talking about how, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen doesn't have Stephon Diggs. That's and he is. Stephon Diggs is a really good player. He's solid. But Josh Allen lost him. The Bills are 8-2. He didn't throw his first interception until a couple weeks ago. He's definitely up in the MVP running, and the offense looks fine without Stephon Diggs. Now, take us. We let go of Saquon Barkley, also a really good player, intricate part of our team, and look how that affected us.
And it's
some teams,
it's not like they keep Coleman in the second round. He's got 22 receptions for 417 yards, 19 yards of reception, already 3 touchdowns. We don't want to talk about that because you got to grab your wide receiver 6 overall to have him make an impact.
Yeah, we went out and got and Malik he's a great talent. I won't say he's a great player yet, as some people are saying. I mean, he's a really good player. I won't say great. Guy hasn't played a full season yet. But Keon Coleman, we took a guy in the top 10. Again, we have a lot of top 10 picks on this team. A lot of top 10 draft picks on this team, and they're just not living up to the hype. Kind of like Brian Burns, who one of the guys in here was smart enough. He has the same stats as Aziz. Spider-Man, Black Spider-Man, Miles Morales. We gave him $120. Okay.
And he's got the same stats. I mean, let's see here. Deshaun says you are a Packers fan with a Barkley jersey on and a Giants hat. Goofy. Knock knock. Who's there? Not you. Goodbye.
That was coming.
You knew that was. I saw it. I had to do it. Let me help him out a little bit because he's stupid. You can wear another team's jersey.
No, you can't.
The world does not end. When you reach 22, you will figure out that you buying and wearing another team's jersey, your team's jersey to the game, all you are doing is adding the revenue into the coffers of that team and the NFL. They're not sitting there telling you, wow, look at all those Giant jerseys. What they really love us here. No. They're seeing you're making it rain for the club.
Yeah.
So you can think all you want that you're a good fan, you're a supportive fan. I'm doing all this to support my team. No, all you're doing is supporting your team financially. And when you were in the doldrums for the last 11 years, it makes you look more like a moron because you are supporting stupidity and you are actually paying someone to make stupid NFL moves on your behalf. That's like when people say, why are you upset? You don't sign the checks. You don't give, it's not your money. As a season ticket holder, yeah, it's my money. 100%. It is. And as a Packer owner, because I do have a share of Packer stocks, I can tell you this, us Packer fans, we're just, it's just the way we are. It's just the way we are in Big Green. I don't know if that's Packer.
But the other thing is, like, you were on the Malik Willis train when he was at Liberty. You were hoping we would get him. So you're a fan of the Giants, but you're a fan of that player. So that's another reason why you follow the Packers. Also, the fact that McKinney X-Man just happened to go over there too. So it's like, okay, cool. I get to watch our guy X-Man, see how he's doing, leading the league in interceptions, or he was. Yeah. But
that's six. I have an Xavier McKinney jersey.
So it's like you like Malik Willis long before he was on the Packers, before he was even on the Titans. You've been a fan of Malik Willis. I have a Josh Allen jersey in my closet right now. Does that mean I can't, that I can't speak on the Giants? Okay.
There you go. Who's that right in the middle of the screen? That's Malik Willis at Liberty.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing. Again, life is simpler than we make it, and all this. Like this, we are not the Jets and the Sharks. For all you who know where that's a movie reference from, we're not out here dancing in the street about to have a knife fight on the basketball court. All right. So this. All right.
Listen, they ruined West Side Story. They remade it. So
no, we don't talk about the remake. I like the original that my mother showed me. God bless.
We don't talk about we don't talk about it. What is it? Rita Moreno and who else was in the original? I can't remember off the top of my head.
A bunch of nobodies in the remake. I mean.
So, what do we do, James?
You don't even. What do we do? Well,
we literally have you got a Mets jersey on or Mets sweatshirt on. I'm assuming.
Yeah, this is when we made the World Series in 2015, back where we belong.
There we go. Now I can see that. We got 7 games left. What do we do?
We're hoping they don't do the silly. I'm gonna tell you a crazy thing, and you guys chat, and my brother, you tell me how crazy this is. I just had a big debate with my boys. I said at the beginning of the year, we're going to suck, but I don't want the Giants to pull Daniel Jones because I want him in the games because that gives us the best chance to lose and get a better draft pick.
That's right.
If you bring in Lock Drew or the Italian Pony, they're going to actually try to win games because Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock want to probably go to another team and have teams look at them, and take them. So they're going to come out and play hard. Also, the team is going to be more inspired just to have Daniel Jones out of there and have somebody else in there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to win 2 or 3 games at the end that don't matter. And then we miss out on Sanders or Ward or even Beck or Urs or miss out on any of the top quarterbacks.
No Carson Beck.
Yeah, no, I know. But we already talked about that. Carson Beck is the exact guy the Giants would go, ooh.
Oh, that's the guy they're going to take. They're going to take Carson Beck. You know it. Make sure you hit the like button. We got 90-something people in the room. We got another 100-something in the.
Yeah, hit that like for our brother, man.
Hit the likes, and just for asking me, ebony and ivory go together in perfect
harmony.
Oh my God, James! Come on, man! You gotta stay up. Todd says Giant fans need to look at this. That the Jets 1969 wasn't their last year. Yeah, you're right. You're watching Shepard go off against the Jets in 9 days. Are you ready?
Well, he will.
Shepard.
We're on the revenge tour. We're on the revenge tour. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I think we beat Sam Darnold. He came back to burn us. There's a few other guys. Lamar Jackson's on that list. We didn't sign Russell Wilson. Now we got Shep coming up. Again, with Baker, we beat Baker when he was on Carolina. Saquon already got his revenge. This is the revenge tour, not for the Giants, for the players and teams against the Giants. It's a very weird year if you really look at what's been going. It's so amazing.
You want a Sterling Shepard stat will make you laugh? How many? He's only got like 11 receptions, but what do you think his average yard per reception is?
Oh, I forgot. Somebody was telling me it's high. It's like, was it like 17, 18? Something ridiculous? No? It's higher? Stop it.
10.1.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were gonna...
What is the average yard perception for a reception for Malik Neighbors?
Oh, no, it's like 7, right? Or 8?
10.6.
Oh, I thought it was lower. All right, well, still, that's horrible.
That's his yak. That's the yak that makes me want to yak. The 4.4 yards on the yak.
Oh, okay, that's the one. That's the yak. Sorry, the yak is the one that's low. But yeah. Oh, yeah. So you've
10 yards a reception.
A guy that's had multiple injuries, that we discarded versus coming off a guy who's a top 10 draft pick, and he is good. I like him, but we got to stop crowning people.
Todd Taylor says, Beth, our 100-year and the Eagles do that. That is beyond sad. The chanting. We got Chris for the M11 MMA say smash. I like Mr. Alvarez says, I need Cam Ward on this team, man. I'm so tired of having no person like a quarterback position. Cam feels like a perfect for the quarterback in the New York market. I personally think that Sanders has more talent. But, and I know people don't agree with me on this, I think Sanders has more baggage. And I think personality-wise, I'm not saying he's a bad kid, but he's done some stuff that kind of makes you like when he went after the quarterback after the Instagram post of that game earlier in the season, how he kind of shows people up. I mean, he kind of does some things that you're like, okay, that flies when your daddy is the head coach.
I was going to say, he's in a weird situation.
When Pops isn't the head coach anymore, you're not going to be able to do these things. I think Cam Ward, not that I think he's a better kid, I do think he has a better personality fit for New York than I think if things go bad quickly for Sanders in New York, it's going to get ugly in the press. And I think that if someone like Cam Ward comes in, he is going to get a little bit more of a leeway with the press because of the fact that he's not going to have the same type of attitude that Dion's kid would have.
I think that's a fair assessment. You know, if you're looking at things again from a just being fair point of view, you know, he's in a weird situation. His dad is a Hall of Famer. He played multiple pro sports. You know, a legend. Now he's his coach in college. You know, and they're actually doing good.
Twice now he's his head coach in college.
You know, so that's a unique situation. You know, you don't see that a lot. You know, much like Bronny and then LeBron or the Griffeys back in the day. But my thing is, I think because Dion is his father, and he's Dion Sanders. That's just, you know, Dion, you know his personality, and the fact that he actually knows some football himself. You know, and I'm being, saying that, but I think that will keep the Giants from wanting, because I don't think they would want Dion around. Because can you imagine? Can you imagine Joe Schoen? Let's say Joe Schoen is here. Let's say we do take Shador. Cool. You know, that would actually be a first, and that would actually make me really happy on a lot of levels, aside from the fact that he's actually talented and good. But think about Joe Schoen in his press conferences, and think about how, Sanders, and we've all watched how the Giants have operated. You really think Dion's going to sit there and just let his son, be on a losing team and a team where it looks like the GM doesn't know what he's doing? Or no, Dion's going to come out and say something. And Shador won't have to say anything. It'll be Dion. And Dion's, for what you think of him, his word carries a little weight, and people will listen. So I don't think the Giants would want the sideshow, whether it's from Shador or his dad. But it's sad, but I don't think we're going to take him for either what you were saying, what I was saying, or any other many reasons out there. But I don't think we're going to take Shador, unfortunately.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here because I'm not sure if you know this, but you're black. So I just wanted to make sure.
What are you talking about?
Just wanted to make.
Black. Where'd he go? Ho!
I just wanted to make sure that this was preferenced the right way, especially for people that are on the other social media platform. You can't see this. Oh, you can see it. You are black. What is your honest thought process or your honest feelings? Let's say the Giants take a Sanders. Let's say the Giants take a Ward. What do you think happens, or what do you think, or what's your thought process going to be if they don't give him the same leeway that they give him? They didn't give him 6 years.
All right. I'm gonna answer this seriously.
That's why it's a serious question.
I don't think, number one, I don't think the fan base will be as lenient as we've been. And I won't even say part of that is due to Shador. I think it's unfair because we've been in this Daniel Jones situation for so long that we want to turn around so fast that if it doesn't happen, a majority of the fan base won't give this kid time. Even what's going on with Bryce Young in Carolina, whatever you think of him, that kid's only been there a year. We bring on
right now with Caleb Williams.
Same thing, and he has a coach that clearly doesn't know what he's doing at all. And I think if we drafted Shador, like I said, the fan base wouldn't be as lenient, wouldn't be as patient. I think the scrutiny in the media would be, Daniel Jones has not been really scrutinized up until recently. People have poked jabs at him throughout the years, but if you really think about his 6-year career and how his performance is, the guy didn't even have a touchdown at home up until I think his last home game. And this is a guy that you let go of Saquon, you re-signed him, and the team has gotten worse. And now we're at the point where he's missing wide open receivers. I mean, now we're at the point where people like Boomer Esiason, Carl Banks, all these people who have defended him, they have no choice but to criticize him because it's so obvious now. You know, you can only hide an elephant in a room for so long. And this guy's been here for 6 years. So honestly speaking, if we did draft Shador or Cam Ward, that would actually be a first. It would break a barrier that for some reason the New York Giants, even though we are in the melting pot so-called city, we have not broken. But I really think the patience meter on him would be shorter. And it would be unfair. You know, it really would. Whatever quarterback we bring in, if he's a brother, not just a brother, he's gonna be under a lot of pressure, Shador or Cam. You know, it's a lot of pressure. Even if we take a Beck or they're going to be under pressure too. Don't get it twisted. They're going to be under pressure too.
No, I
you know,
agree.
Beck.
Anyone that comes in is going to be under the microscope. But
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, the Giants, if they Sanders or anyone that they would be making, you know, 100. Then it would be 101 year NFL history for the franchise. And that quarterback that you literally gave 6 years to, that 31 other teams after year 3 said that this guy is a bum. And thank the Giants for keeping him. And I think, I mean, like I said, I think you're right. I was just wondering from your perspective, if you finally break the barrier, you finally crack the glass ceiling, you finally make that commitment, and you give him 2 years. How is that any? And it doesn't even matter with the color of your skin, but let's give everyone just 2 years. How is that fair?
I mean, unfortunately, life isn't fair. You know, I mean, you can look in the last 6 years. How many one and done quarterbacks have there been? How many quarterbacks are getting pulled? I mean, Anthony Richardson, you got benched for Old Man Joe, and then Old Man Joe went out there and showed you why he's Old Man Joe.
400 yards and 4 touchdowns in one game.
You know. But at the same time, you're supposed to be developing your young quarterback. You know, Bryce Young, benched for the Red Rifle. You know, but you're supposed to be developing your young quarterback. Josh Rosen got 1 year and you're out of here. We're bringing in Kyler because he's clearly better. You know, okay. But there's been a number of I just named a few examples. There's been a number of quarterbacks that have not really been given that much time. And I think because of what a lot of the fan bases had to sit through, I mean, you're a season ticket holder. You know, I talk about this with you all the time off camera. You're a season ticket holder. You've been that for years. Your family has been there. You have poured thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into this organization and these teams. And like Real Talk Show was saying, you know, the billionaires don't really think about us. But at the end of the day, if you don't go to these games, if we don't go to these games, I have a Mets hoodie on now. If we don't buy their paraphernalia, then these owners won't own these teams because there'd be no reason to, because they won't be making money.
No, they have the TV agreement. They have the billion.
Oh, so that's if we don't go to if we don't watch the games, if we don't. I mean, betting is legal now. Betting is every time I see a play that's blatantly missed, that's all I think about. Betting is legal, so there's billions of dollars being floating around sports.
People forget how much. I mean, the Giants don't make their bank on jersey sales, on concessions, on ticket sales, because there's only 8 home games. They don't make their bank. They make their bank on that fucking television contract. So the Giants could only have 10,000 season tickets and sell 8 jerseys, and they'll still be worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I keep saying, where y'all been hiding since Tiki Barber and the rest of you Giant fans thought bad on Saquon can kick rocks. Saquon now has 4 times your Giants wins. Just saying. Oh, I agree. You're at the wrong place. You're not going to get me to say anything. I'm glad you're talking the truth. I'm subbing too. Well, I appreciate that. Another Eagle fan. Mr. Taz says, I feel bad for the Giant fans. Legitimately, I'm the happiest we've been in the division competitive. It makes good football. Look at the AFC North when the Bengals finally got Joe Burrows. I agree. Let's see here. What do we got here? Shout out to Online Big Blue Nation, Tim and James, the angry black man. Lol, hit that like button. Oh, yeah. People keep forgetting this. You know what? James has been keeping his he's been keeping his anger in check, because we all know there's a new segment on the show No, I can't. William.
Got to bring in that funk.
Angry black man. It's always going to
come out there with my big
man.
Cadillac, dice in the window.
only if you have the fuzzy carpet on the dash. Then you're good, man. Then you're good. Let's see here. Original was awesome. I guess we're talking about West Side Story. Baggage called Dion. I do agree it's the baggage called Dion. Charles Barkley said, I'm not racist to give a bad quarterback. It's not racist not to give a bad quarterback a 6-year leash. I love this one. Online, let's see here. Big Blue Forever. YouTube history. Tim telling James he is black. Lol almost drove off the road.
Don't do that, Big Blue. Be safe, brother. That's funny, man.
I hope the Eagles lose. Anything, our buddy Kareem said, the fan base won't give the next quarterback the same amount of time to DJ, especially because Archie Manning hype is looming.
Oh, I should ask you about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me ask you. Yeah. Let me ask you. Hold on. What are your feelings on all this weird? We should just wait for Archie Manning hype, and of course now it's the tires. It's catching on more and more now. What are your thoughts on that? With the whole, should we wait for Archie Manning? Really, that's the plan?
I laugh because it's one of those things. It's like you literally Archie Manning hasn't really played since September 28th. He had 6 passes against Georgia, and I think another 6 passes in Florida. So he hasn't really played. So you don't fully know what Archie Manning even is.
No.
What if? And I love it. I always tell people, what if he blows out his elbow? What if he gets an ACL? What if it just turns out he's not as good as we think he is, and we're going to wait until 26 to draft him, and then find out that maybe he's a 5th round pick? Everyone and I use the comparison of Chris Sims, Phil Sims' son. Chris Sims, he was the big prospect out of Jersey. He went to Texas. He couldn't beat out Major Applewhite.
Major Applewhite. Yeah.
Thought he was going to be this guy. He struggled mightily at Texas. He was not the player that we thought he was going to be. 2002, they were going to be ranked, I think, second Texas, and Sims throws for like 3,000 yards, which was a career high. He gets taken. Now, remember, when he first went to Texas, everyone was up on his jock like, in 4 years, when Chris Sims comes out, we're going to grab him. We're going to get him. He went went in the 3rd round to Tampa. And he had a 12 touchdowns to 18 interceptions and is only thrown for only 3,000 in his entire NFL. So that's what waiting 4 years for Chris Sims did for Tampa and Giant fans.
But I'm so glad you said that, because it's, go look at the tape of Archie Manning. That guy was good. Eli Payton speaks for themselves. Cooper was allegedly going to be good until he got hurt. It's like, yes, the odds are like, yes, football runs in that bloodline and might be good just like everybody else in his family. But the odds are also greater that he's not going to be as good as the rest of them. Just saying, it's not hate. It's just called playing the odds. This wait, and the game he came in, because I kind of like the kid Urs. I'm not a super fan, but I kind of like him.
I'm not up on Quinn. Maybe
right. But the game that Manning came in for him, I think they were playing like Southern Baptist State or something. They weren't playing no, and he played good, but I was like, they're not playing. No, this is Southern Baptist YMCA crossover Appalachian State. Like, get out of here. And people are like, oh, look at all the touchdowns Archie threw. That guy's going to be better than.
They played the UTSA Roadrunners.
Stop it.
When he had his 4 touchdowns. That's who they played. That's who they played. Those
guys probably don't even have a band.
They let's see. They beat Crenshaw State. They lost to Texas Tech. They lost to Texas Tech 49-10. They won against Houston Christian 45-7. They lost to East
Oh, Houston
Carolina.
Christians.
They lost to Rice. They lost to Tulane. They did beat Memphis. And down they have North Texas, Temple, and Army. So, yes, the Roadrunners, they are a powerhouse.
Oh, yes. Okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't know these things. I'm speaking from ignorance. You have to excuse me. Just when I hear that USTA of a Roadrunner, no Wile E. Coyote, I'm like, oh, I'm really scared of those guys.
They do get
Kevin
all their
Pace.
equipment from Acme then, so we're all good with that.
It's like,
Dan says, I think this is going to be pretty good, but yes, playing the waiting game just because the Eli's legacy is beyond stupid. I mean, like I said, I truly remember when yes, Ramapo College, high school, where Chris Sims was at. I truly remember his
everybody's a legend in high school, though, Tim.
His recruitment was he was the USA he was USA Today National Offensive Player of the Year at college. He actually committed. People forget he committed to go to Tennessee, and then he decommitted and chose Texas.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Now I do remember that because he was good. But I didn't think that was a good idea because I'm like, you don't want to follow Peyton. You want to carve your own path.
But you couldn't beat out Major Applewhite.
His name was Major.
And he was an Applewhite.
His name was Major. That kid was Major in college.
But just waiting for Archie is just.
I just don't get. Do you know that there's some part of the fan base, just to tack on the last thing we talked about before, and I won't say no more because I don't even want to make my head spin, but there's a portion of the fan base that if we took Shador or Cam, they would go, well, we should have just waited a year and got Archie. I don't want these guys. We should have just waited a year and got Archie. And it's like, so you wouldn't want.
It'll be better. You know what we need to do? We need to pull a Kyler Murray. Well, we got Josh Rosen, but let's just get rid of Sanders now after a year and draft Arch.
Don't know people. If you know what, that's a greater point to what you were saying. If we took Shador, and let's say he didn't come running out the gates, year one, and he kind of struggled, which he's a rookie quarterback, he probably should struggle. If Archie Manning's there and we have a back, people will say we need to go up and get Archie Manning. We need to do that right now. You're absolutely right. I get that. You're a 1,000,000% right on that. People would want that.
If his
in a heartbeat.
No, this is a question I got for you, Tim. If his pedigree wasn't Manning, his uncles weren't Eli and Peyton.
Oh no!
Would the Giants have the same reverence right now with the thought process of waiting for Archie Manning? We call him Archie Johnson. Bill and Stu Johnson's kid.
If he wasn't last name Manning and part of that great football legacy bloodline, we would be talking about Carson Beck. Those same people would be talking about Carson Beck right now. They would just replace Archie with Carson because that's what it is. It's the legacy. And I get it, to a certain extent, I do. But to even say, again, I would want to carve my own path in life. As a man, you want to make your own path, your own way. You don't want to follow in the steps of what somebody else did all the time. Some things maybe, but not really everything. So if I'm Archie, I don't want to go to the Colts or the Giants. Or, I want to go somewhere else.
Well, Todd says it best. If I were Archie, I wouldn't even want to come here. Guy will be asked about Eli every other question for the next 10 years.
Great point.
That is a great thing. Big Blue Forever is just rocking it today. James, did you know Tim is white?
What? No, what the hell are you talking about? He's Dominican. Stop it. And he's half an Indian, Native American. Stop it. The hell are you talking about?
Sanders Archie Manning competition would be better ratings than the Super Bowl. Mr. Alvarez says, I say no to Manning connection because the Manning connection is what got us Daniel Jones. That to me is unforgivable. No more Manning connections.
That's also a good point.
I was going to say, do you think there's validity in that? That they basically the Mannings vouched for Daniel Jones and cut Cliff and everything else.
My dark horse conspiracy has always been that you can tell Eli Peyton, they love each other. They really like each other. I think, again, just my crazy angry black man conspiracy. Eli, watching his brother be so hurt by that, and I think Eli was so hurt by that, and watching the way we did Coughlin too, I firmly believe they were like, you know what? We're going to tell these sons of bitches that this kid who sucks is really good. Let's see if they draft him. Let them play him. Let them draft him. And after they see him play, let's see if they appreciate you more, which we have. You've seen a lot of fans go, oh, the Eli years, man. Like you have guys don't remember how good they were. And it's the truth. But my dark horse conspiracy. Yeah. My dark horse conspiracy is that they did that on purpose to say, yeah, they're gonna take this sucker from Duke, and then we'll see if they miss you or regret kicking you, benching you for Geno Smith. Stop it.
Kareem says if we draft Sonoris, people would say we got to draft Archie after his first INT. You're 100% right.
His first incompletion, Kareem.
I was going to say his first incompletion.
His first incompletion. Like, this guy sucks.
Did you see him miss that guy in the end zone wearing shorts?
Like, well, he doesn't have. You know what they would say? Well, how come this black quarterback can't run like Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
People would say that.
Shane says, what about if we had a chance to get Stafford and Cam and let Cam sit to learn for a season? We don't have them. Where does everyone think? And I'm not making fun of you, Shane, because you probably heard something on Chat Sports. He's owed $55 million guaranteed next year.
That's a lot of bank.
And even if you get rid of Daniel Jones, you're still going to owe him $23 million. So you're going to have a 30-plus-year-old quarterback and a guy not on the team making $78 million next year. No, we can't do that. we can't. I keep explaining to people this, and I'm going to do this my last explanation. Pittsburgh Steelers had Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett at their quarterback room. They went to the playoffs. Whatever happens, they dismantled their playoff room, their quarterback room, to make a playoff run. They're paying $1.5 million to Russell Wilson and like another 6 or 7 to Justin Fields. Their entire quarterback room, we always talk about this in buckets. Their entire quarterback room is $8 million. That's what you need to do.
Tim, as your black friend, I just got to say, you got to be careful today what you say. You just said that they changed their whole quarterback room. They changed, and they did change the room. It looks completely different in here now.
It looks different.
Oh my goodness! Wow, there's soul music playing.
The carpet now matches the drapes.
All right, it's like, what's going on in here? It's like music sounds different. There's a different vibe in here. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Let me stop.
I'm just glad you had to remind me you're my podcast. Because according to
no, that was funny.
A big blue.
That was funny.
I wasn't aware of that.
That's You know
what the worst part is, and this is what, and I'm not saying you, but I'm saying a certain segment of the Giant fans would see it that way. That they call it the dynamic of the quarterback. I have 2 black quarterbacks. My dumbass, I see it as $8 million in salary cap. Because I've said it before, I don't care if you're Pluto. I don't care what. I don't care if you're gay or Pluto, have 18 thumbs. If you can throw, and I've said it a million times, I would rather have an asshole who could read defenses than having a guy like Daniel Jones, who's a good kid. Everyone like he does so well. Everyone. No, I don't want that. I would rather have a Sanders be a jerk and throw touchdown passes than I would to have to hear about the nice guy Daniel Jones walk, die out. That's what I think. That's kind of what we need right now. No, that's not. Don't. I love this one. My mic sounds like a windstorm.
Oh, sorry. That's me. That's me. My fault. I'm outside getting a little air because it's probably it's not too bad out here today. It's like 60 degrees, but just remember with Caleb, people were talking about him because I guess he was painting his nails. So we didn't want a quarterback that had a gun for an arm that painted his nails.
People were like, well, he paints his nails and he cried. I was like, okay. I'm good with that. He wants to paint his nails and cry. If he throws touchdown passes, I'm I'm good. I'm fine. And I think Giants have lowered the bar so much in certain regards to things. It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, I don't care. I've said it before. Our quarterback can wear a pink tutu on the field, but if he can scramble for 45 yards or he can roll out and maybe audible and throw the ball 45 yards for a touchdown, it doesn't bother me any. I'm good. Hey, listen, a W's a W. It doesn't matter. But we've just our society. I don't know. We're not going to get into society because that's just too long to even.
We don't have time for that. We don't have time for it.
Barkley said he painted his nails. Now his offense has been the worst in the league the last 4 to 5 weeks. He's also a rookie.
Yeah, but he painted his nails before he even got here, so that
doesn't. James, I gotta go have lunch. What's your final thought of this glorious day here in Giant Land?
Just take it in stride, baby. Whatever your favorite drink is, beer, liquor, wine, whatever, just take it in stride. Take it easy, man. Would you say we got 7 games left? Seven games left. All right, man. Well, hey, man, we're in Dante's Inferno. We got 7 levels left. Yes, we're almost down.
Dante Inferno, known as the Meadowlands,
or I should say Daniel's Inferno, and we're all burning up in it. But hey, man, just take it in stride, baby. It's almost over. It's almost over.
If they do bench him for Drew Lock, and they do bench him, let's say, for the remainder of the season, is there any way possible, as a normal GM, could you ever consider bringing Daniel Jones back next year?
I think this regime, they would find some way to say, well, we did this guy, he's had a rough career and we got to give him a loft standing spot and give him more money. So we'll bring instead of the comment before about Stafford, Jones will be the bridge quarterback to Sanders award, hopefully. And we won't bring nobody else on because we already have this guy here. He signed. Why would we bring, we don't need to bring on anybody. We're already paying this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, he already knows what the locker room is. So he
knows his role. He doesn't have any commercials. Wouldn't that be hilarious if we drafted Shador and Dion had a commercial? Meanwhile, Jones was still on the team, but all these years, no billboards, no commercial. But our rookie quarterback comes right in and has a commercial.
All right, I got an idea for a commercial.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
This is scary.
Dion and his son driving a moving truck. We'll do it for global worldwide moving. They go to Daniel Jones's house.
That would have to be like a YouTube commercial. Like, while we're here, like, time to get all this old crap out of here.
They drive up to Daniel Jones's house with all the boxes, and they get out and they pack Daniel Jones up and they move him out.
I wish. I wish. I hate to say it. I wish.
I love Todd's last comment of the day. Will Mara put Jones in the Ring of Honor someday?
That's not funny because I'm telling he'll give him the title, most courageous giant ever, faced the most adversity, Daniel Jones, number 8.
Because not the fact that Chuck Bednarik almost killed Frank Gifford on the field.
No, Daniel Jones has faced the most adversity. Never mind his paycheck. Never mind that he was overdrafted. Never mind that. He has faced the most adversity
than any other Giant quarterback. Oh my God. Oh, I like this one. DJ rents lol. He doesn't believe in himself enough to buy a house. You know what? That would be another one. They have that.
That's a good one.
They have that commercial for the rental place, the place rent.com, I think it is. Dion and his son rent Daniel Jones's house. They could
do that.
I gotta find a house in the New York market, something cheap. Well, look, this house is for sale, and it's Daniel Jones.
They're like, who used to stay here? They're like, I don't know, some guy. I think he used to be a jogger or something. He liked to run.
He already has a commercial.
I know, but I meant one with the Giants, like in the Giants uniform, Kareem. No, I know, but I know.
Because we're Giants outside of Dexter Lawrence aren't allowed to have commercials. But you know what, guys? I'm hungry and I got to go eat. This is Tim here at Giant Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. I want to thank James Williams for dropping in as always. I want to thank everyone for the chat. It was a great chat today. And I want to thank all the Eagle fans that decided to show up for no reason. Oh, as always, we're out of here. Have yourself a good time. We won't see you on Sunday, but we'll see you sometime next week. You ain't got to go home.
Peace.
Hell out of here.